conflicting reports out of Dallas. Cowboys reporter Todd Archer posted that Jerry Jones said he expects Jadeveon Clowney to play Sunday against Chicago, but they didn't have an idea of how much their newly acquired defensive end would play. And then Archer posted that Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer said it's still up in the air as to whether Clowney will play against Chicago.
No, Jerry,
speaking of, equivocating, I don't know. We may or we may not have Jadeveon Clowney this weekend. Who knows, right? It's the Cowboys. One thing we do know for sure is that the Cowboys defense will play a lot of zone coverage against the Bears on Sunday. Dallas leads the NFL in zone. Caleb Williams has seen a ton of it. 45 of his 65 passes this season have been against the zone. He has only completed just over half of them. And Dan, this is his third game in Ben Johnson's system. What are you watching for in this matchup?
So can he play faster in Ben Johnson's system? So everyone continues to talk that Caleb needs to play faster. I think the 3 seasons under Ben in Detroit, on average, over the course of those 3 years, it took about 2.8 seconds for him to throw the football, okay? Right now, Caleb's at about 3.1. So we're talking 0.3 of a second different.
That's a lot.
That's a significant difference in the NFL. That's the difference between a completion, incompletion, completion, batted ball, interception, a sack, fumble,
or
getting the ball out. What I also need everyone to understand is this. Like, this offense asks their quarterback to hold it a little bit longer than others. We can't expect Caleb to get the ball out in 2.3, 2.4 seconds on average. That's the Patrick offense. That's the Joe Burrow offense, the Tua offense. So in the context of this offense, something that everybody can look at for improvement, not only this week, but moving forward, is Caleb playing in this offense faster or close to as fast when it comes to getting rid of the football as Jared Goff did? If that's starting to trend in a good direction, that shows improvement for me. But I think the context of this offense and the play action element of it and asking the quarterback to hold it longer than others, that has to be a part of the conversation.
Dan, I wanted to obviously talk about this game, but I got a question for you because I think it's super interesting what you brought up with Caleb. Okay, do you feel like he's taking those chances and opportunities that I've heard you talk about so much, the really good quarterbacks take, or is that why it may be 3.1 seconds?
He takes them outside of the pocket. He doesn't take them inside of the pocket because I think that inside of the pocket, he's not as confident. And I think he's trying to play in structure. I think he's trying to play in the rhythm. And so it's the process, Marcus, of like trying to do the right thing. And I would tell you sometimes I want Caleb to treat the check down like the outlet. Like it's the only thing left. And sometimes he gets the ball to the check down the back because they're open. I want you to exhaust your progression. Exhaust it. Nothing else is there. Find your outlet.
Well, he takes those chances when he's comfortable. Obviously, he's not the only guy on the team, and we have some news about some of his teammates.
They're not in good shape.
This is new on NFL Live. The Bears will have several defensive players out Sunday, including Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, I know, TJ Edwards. Also, running back DeAndre Swift is questionable. Goodness gracious, Mina.
That could throw for 500.
Mina, this is a Bears defense that gave up 52 points to the Lions last week. Goodness. When you hear this, what
ain't no sense in talking about it.
What?
Ain't no sense in talking about it. Mina, what you have for dinner today?
I love that. What you have for dinner today?
Sorry, Lenny actually disconnected my cord. I'm back. Okay.
It's a rhetorical question.
Really what happened, he jumped in.
It's but, give us something anyway, Mina.
The Bears' pass defense has been awful, and those injuries are a big part of why they've been awful. Their run defense has also been really bad. So I was looking up the Cowboys' defense over the middle of the field because I was thinking about the offense and how they could attack, and I saw a number that took my breath away. On passes over the middle of the field, the Bears' defense are allowing a passer rating of 158.3. Y'all know that's perfect, right? How is that even possible? I know they played the Lions and the Packers, who are two teams that are very good at attacking there, but probably
that's unbelievable.
But extraordinary. And Cowboys got a quarterback who loves himself a seam ball. I think it's going to be a long day at the office for this pass defense, especially when you see those cornerbacks who are out. Man, I'm not feeling good about that.
And yet, despite everything you've just heard, one person here today is on the Bears for this one. Brooke.
Okay, Brooke.
5-1.
Yeah, Brooke.
All right, we're just going to leave it there. What's up, good people and Eagle fans? I see Alan Williams in the house. Holly Pierce, what's up, Holly? How are you doing? Shout out to you. I see Sugar Daddy. What's up, Sugar Daddy? We got Jeff Lee. My name is Jeff. Logan Motorsports, who was the first one here. Look, y'all going to let an Eagle fan put us to shame. Shame. Jimbo's here. Kay Dolphus. What's up, Kay? Shoremade, Hog 501. What's going on? Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Texas Breed Gaming. What's up? Jeff Lee loving some booby. Robbie Step Away, who's at work at Bridgeport Amphitheater watching. Shout out to you. John in the house. Dirty Sanchez getting just nasty as always. How's everybody doing tonight? Before we get into it, let's check out Sleeper real quick.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already
Cowboy.
on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code JOBRO. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
All right, as we get into it, what's up, loyal Cowboys? How are you doing? C. Miller, C. Mill Z52. Some of y'all's names are just kind of crazy. Ivan K. What's going on? Okay, so the Cowboys opened up as a 1.5 point underdog and have been changing the line. It's literally moved 3 points to now they are the favorite, so -1.5. So if you got on there early this week, you got ahead of the curve here. So they've changed things up. Roland's Review, how are you doing, Roland? So we got a couple of things beyond just the game this weekend. Right now, the Bears are hopefully who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were, and they stink. They are beat up. DeAndre Swift may not play. They've got more defensive players. And how crazy is it that the quarterbacks, including J.J. McCarthy, have been literally perfect going over the middle of the field? That's insane. Kiwana Gibson, how are you doing tonight? I literally cannot believe it. Now, yeah, so this needs to be a game that the Cowboys literally get back on track defensively. What we saw last year against the Giants, that I'm not ready to say that our defense is just message deleted by Jeff. What? Jeff, why did you delete Kiana's message? What's going on? Jeff? She's just waving at Allen. What's going on, mate? Be careful with that, with that power. Be careful with that power. I know sometimes the chat gets rolling real quick, but please don't block people and time people out by accident. Okay? Please be careful. A little sleeper mascot dude reminds me of that Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. Oh, I thought the same thing. You know what, Holly? I thought the same thing because he did look like. Yeah, he did. He really did. It was what was his name? Gizmo. I think it was Gizmo. Yeah, but okay, I can't remember. Just to get it straight. But the Cowboys need to get on track on the defense. What we had happen last week, giving up like 20-yard plus plays over and over and over again, was just nasty. We got nowhere to go but up. So I hope that this is a chance that without DeAndre Swift, that's going to slow down the Bears offense, and Caleb Williams will be more one-dimensional. Lovely Linda. How are you doing, Linda? and that the Cowboys defense will actually show up and, I don't know, keep them under 30. You got to walk before you got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to walk before you can run. At this point, if we can keep them under 25, I'd say that's a win. Oh, shit! But here's where I was actually kind of amazed this earlier before I get back into the game and stuff, because Mark, I need a shirt made. Hog501, not a problem. Email me, cowboysmark94 Gmail, and tell me what you want. And I'll pass it on to Miss Tracy, who is the designer extraordinaire. Couple of things that were kind of crazy. As a Cowboy fan, you're always waiting for the next shoe to drop. Okay? When things are calm and orderly and all that, you're like, okay, it's too quiet, it's too calm, some bad shit's about to happen. And if you've been watching the shows, Derek Young in the house, what's going on? You're beginning to hear praise for Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about Dak Prescott, he seems to have a better command of the field and things. And, he's dropping the ball perfect, and he's on, an MVP type tear. He's like he was 2 years ago. These are the same guys that a month ago were saying, he's a tier 3 quarterback. I don't know how much he's got left. He's going to be gone in, a year or two. It's the end of his career, and, there's no hope for him. He's not good. And the same people that were saying that our running game was probably the worst in the NFL, and that our offensive line was suspect. Now, all of a sudden, they've kind of turned around and, they're praising him. George Pickens, he's a ticking time bomb. Mike Tomlin and other coaches like that, they wouldn't put up with that guy. He's a piece of crap. He's going to go crazy. And so, this morning I was kind of like, they're beginning to talk good things about the offense. Now we know that the defense has got problems, and most of those are injuries, and some of those will get better. We heard that Savon Ravel, who's on injured reserve, I know we don't want to rely solely on a rookie, but they're looking for him to come off of IR after the Green Bay game, and maybe week 5 will be like his debut. And we know that Deron Bland, this is the second week he's out. They said 2 to 5 weeks. So, maybe after the Packer game, you get that guy back, and Diggs is still getting in shape. So you're saying, okay, we're bad right now, but we can get a little bit better. We got Clowney in the mix, okay? So I was actually relaxing just a little bit and just kind of, woosah, okay, things are okay. And I was working on basement, and I was putting some waterproofing on the walls, and I've gotten on Mike Fisher's email notification list. I don't know how that happened, okay, but I get emails that keep popping up, and I get this email that pops up, and it says Clowney arrested, and I'm like, oh shit. I am literally, Dirty Sanchez, Holly, it was finalized 4 years ago. I'll never went back and got the results until today. You never went back and got the results on what till today? You think oh my God, if the Giants beat the Chiefs, you might have to say that the Chiefs are done. Mister. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. But actually, you really don't know what to expect, though, in the NFL season. But let me finish with me having the heart attack. And so then I start watching, Mike Fisher talking about the Clowney situation. Yes, Clowney was arrested for parking in a closed parking lot. And I was like, what are you talking about? Super Sports Ricky, what's going on? Ricky, Miss Tracy's working on your shirt for you. We'll get that for you squared away. In a couple of days, it'll be in the mail. And I was like, what? How do you get arrested for parking in a closed parking lot? I mean, typically, worst case is they impound your car. They tow you away and hold it hostage, and then you got to go over and pay the towing fee and a day's fee. And so you're paying like $150 even though it was just an hour ago. They got their quick money. Hey, okay, you got to go in the gated area. It's the dirt road and stuff back in there. They got a couple of pit bulls and stuff. Your car's all dusty and dirty and things. You didn't pay them that money. And it's like, dude, the parking lot, there was nobody needing to park there. Well, what's the problem? And so that's what happened as far as it went. But I'm still like, how are you arrested? It's like, are you really telling me that he tried to drive up to a parking lot that was closed, park in there, and they said because basically he didn't want to give ID and so on, he was arrested. I was like, so to me, arrested is because I've had a situation that was kind of crazy. Okay? This was when Michael and Michaela were young. There was a sobriety check going through house. Went there, license, registration, okay, yeah. No problem. I went home. The next day, I get a knock at the door, and it's the police. And I'm like, can I help you? Yeah, you're under arrest for driving without a license. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, I got my kids here. I'm a single parent. Got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Well, that's not our problem. I'm like, can I take them to my neighbor's house here? Because I don't want to leave my kids there. And it turned out, okay, so I go down. Okay, this was getting arrested. I go down to the police station. They fingerprint me, right? Take my picture and all that. And what I find out is I had a parking ticket that was in Manassas that I didn't know about that went to court, and I didn't know I needed to go to court. And so they sent out paperwork to suspend my license, which came the next day. So they said when they pulled me over, I was driving on a suspended license, and I had to go to court for it. So that was getting arrested because literally they took me in handcuffs. And I'm like, they handcuffed him? They put him in a police car? They took him to the police station? What are you talking about? Then later on in the day, I see Clarence Hill basically go through and tell the story that it's a high school football game. There's a parking lot that's there, and his aunt's house is behind the parking lot. And so he's trying to go through the parking lot to get to his aunt's house. And he said, this has happened over the years many times, and, it had never been detained. So it was detained, not arrested. So for about 15 minutes, they basically, get out your car, stay right there. So it's not really arrested because to be arrested, you get handcuffed, put in a police car, taken downtown, mug shots and all that stuff. And he said it's the first time he's ever been arrested. Well, you weren't really arrested, so you technically haven't been. I've been arrested, okay? And turns out I go to court, and here's where it gets really crazy. There's a woman who's up for driving on a suspended license, right? And she said, the judge said, well, what happened? He said, well, I was driving. My friend didn't know where we were going, so I was driving to get us there and this, that, and the other. He said, did you know you were driving on a suspended license? She said, yeah, but my friend didn't know where it was, so I went ahead and drove. And he said, okay, you get 10 days in jail. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, this mother humper's the hanging judge. And I'm like, I'm coming up soon, too. They called me up there. And the judge says, did you know you were driving on a suspended license? I said, Your Honor, I did not. I said, I got arrested. I got home from jail, and the next day I get a notification in the mail that said your license was suspended, okay? And then I went to Manassas, found out it was a $25 ticket, paid that, the late fees and stuff, and it's done. He said, I can't remember, he said there's 257 jurisdictions in the state of Virginia, and he said half of them don't care whether or not you knew that you were driving on it. If you're driving a suspended license, it's jailable. He said, since I can see there's a little conflict here on the timing on it, so I'm going to let you off. I was like, damn, thank you, Judge. So I was like, that's being arrested. They were literally taking me out my house with my 2 kids. I was divorced or separated, and we don't care. You going downtown, son. So when I saw that he got arrested, he didn't get arrested. He got detained. Okay? I'm serious. That's a true story. Okay? That was in Prince William County. Okay? Yeah. They literally took me down to the substation and had me handcuffed, chained to the bench. I'm scared as hell. I was like, I don't want to drop the soap in the shower. Please, I don't want to take it. They're like, look, bro, you're going to talk to the magistrate. You're going to get out, and then you're done, okay? It's like, okay. So, Clowney's situation wasn't that big a deal, okay? But they get us as Cowboy fans, they give us a freaking heart attack. Still can't detain anybody without a crime. Right. But Dirty, they can do that. I got another story, too. This is, oh, my God. I thought I wasn't going, I tell you what, that was the first time I thought police were going to, high yellow ass. When you got 10 police cars and they all got their hands on their weapons surrounding your car, that's when you literally shit a brick. But that's another time. Mark, they had you chained down. Shit. Yeah, I've had some times where this is where if you've never had a police car behind you and the hair doesn't stand up in the back of your neck, feel happy about that. But to this day, if I'm driving down the road and there's a police car behind me, my shit is both hands on the wheel, and I'm scared as shit. I will not lie to you. I will not lie to you. Shay, what's going on? How you doing? Okay, so we got past that. Then I saw Jerry Jones. It's getting to be a little bit ridiculous because it used to be Stephen Jones on Monday, Jerry Jones on Tuesday, and then we were safe the rest of the week, right? Now we got Jerry and Stephen Jones on steroids because now both of them are on the radios on Friday. So you had Jerry Jones this morning on 105.3 The Fan, and he's talking to them and everything else, Jerry speak and stuff, and he's saying, Clowney, we expect him to play this week, and he's going to be good to go. I've had friendly policemen pull me over for. Alan, I tell you, here's another one for you, though. This is a good one. And you can ask E2 Blue about this one, because this will happen to E2 Blue. Apparently he was speeding or something on his way to my house, and he got pulled over by a Fairfax County cop, right? And they're like, where are you going in a hurry? He said, man, I'm going over to my friend. I'm trying to catch the game at my friend Mark Holmes' house. He's like, Mark Holmes, show him a sports report? Okay, take it easy, man. Slow it down, okay? All right? Have fun. So, seriously, next time you see E2 Blue on a video live, ask him about that. Policeman, look, I hooked the brother up. Okay. But no joke. All jokes aside, I've had some and I have too, Alan. That's true. I've had some really good ones too. The policemen around here, I know all the policemen here and in Waynesboro and everything else. We're good to go here. But I won't still do nothing at night. Driving around at night, no, not at all. So we got through that, and then we got Jerry and Stephen Jones on steroids. So Jerry's sitting there bloviating about, my experience exactly, Alan Williams, about Clowney playing, and that he's going to be playing and everything else. And then kind of like Shoddy was kind of like, it'll be a game time decision. He literally just got here, okay? So, we don't really want to tip our hands on whether or not he's going to play. But then Mark Holmes is a celebrity. He was on the Lester Holt show. Okay, that was just, it was really the earthquake. Loyal, it was not me. It was the earthquake that they wanted to see. I just happened to be there with the earthquake. But appreciate that. I don't know about being an icon. I'm something here in Virginia. Jerry Jones is asked about, okay, you've got the extra draft picks, you've got some extra money. Is it possible that, you make some more moves, seeing the problems with the defense? And Jerry Jones, they don't even have to show your ID minus a crime unless you've been lawful pulled over for a traffic infraction in Texas. You have to be lawfully arrested before you have to give up an ID. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I was in Richmond yesterday, and I saw ICE out there. It didn't look like they were asking for any IDs. They were just grabbing people. But that's another story for another time. Awesome. Please know when you aren't bluffing. Wait, Mark Holmes. He's clean. Laugh out loud. It's still Dak's fault. Okay. But Jerry Jones says, no, we're open for business, and he may consider using the extra draft capital that we have to help the team right now. Now, I'm kind of like, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure, that you've got anybody out there right now that you look at and say, we need to use a number one pick on. I'm just saying that I hear you, and if you got somebody that's really worth the number, okay, that they're ready to trade for, okay, maybe, but can we start a little smaller? I mean, me for one, I say second-round picks because they don't pan out for us. First-round picks of our guys, they usually work, I'm just thinking when you've traded number one picks before, like Roy Williams, Mike, Joey Galloway, 2 number ones. Maybe hold on to the number one. Maybe use some smaller chains. I think you can get some good deals with some of the smaller chains. So when I first heard that, I was like, okay, this is Jerry Jones all in part two. All in part two, okay? We got that extra draft capital, and I'm still taking bullets for the Micah Parsons trade. So I'm gonna tell people, we could be using those picks because we could trade those things and we can get some more stuff out of it, and that'll appease the masses for a while. So I said, that's just Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones. But then I hear Stephen Jones asked about it. They said, hey, Stephen, your old dad was talking about using some of the picks and trading and doing some other moves. And he said, yeah, we could, he said, potentially be doing that. See, here's the thing. When Jerry Jones said, we're going all in, Stephen Jones was kind of like, Jesse, how you doing, man? Appreciate the email from you. Thanks a lot, man. That meant a lot. He kind of said, I've never known us not to really go all in. And, he tried to soften the blow on Jerry and not say, yeah, we're all in. We're going to be, because he's kind of, I've never known us never not to, you understand what I'm saying, right? See, here's the thing. You may not like Stephen Jones, okay? You may not like what he does. But the thing I can say about Stephen Jones is he doesn't bullshit you. He doesn't. When he said we were looking to sign Dak and CD, and I think they had intentions of Micah, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. When he said we believe in our own guys, they don't go out and get other guys because they believed in their own guys. He will tell you like it is. So, exactly, Derek Young. But he'll tell you the truth. He'll tell you the truth. And so for him to back up what Jerry said, yeah, we're looking to do some things. Then you might actually have people. Now that's not to say they're actively out here picking up the phone, calling people and saying, hey, what you got? We want to make a move. They're at least open to the idea of making some moves to make the team better. And that's groundbreaking in itself. And when you see a team like right now, the Miami Dolphins, and crazy enough, they actually had a chance to win that game. This is how football is kind of crazy. You had, I don't know how you felt about the game last night, but I felt like it was a lot closer than 31-21. Did anybody else feel like that? It was more of Miami lost the game than Buffalo won it. Buffalo came out, was looking like doing Buffalo things, looking great and everything. Miami making mistakes, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a blowout. But Miami kind of hung in there, and it was basically running into the kicker and one interception that was really the difference in the game. And I'm going to say Josh Allen didn't actually kneel down. He actually kneeled down first, then fumbled the football after he'd gotten up, and then gave the ball to the officials. That ball was actually live, and had the Dolphins been able to get it before the official, that could have been a live ball and a score. But I'm just saying, Buffalo, first 2 weeks looked incredible. Last night, maybe not quite as much. And so, you looked at the Giants, week 1, looking like ass against Washington. Next week, their offense looked really good. Their defense looked like ass. Sorry, Jesse. Sorry, they just looked like ass. So you're beginning to see the turn where teams are really settling into where they really may be, right? But if you are the Miami Dolphins right now, you're hearing reports that basically the inmates were running the asylum, that nobody respects Mike McDaniels, guys just don't show up for practice or just don't want to practice for him, that he's literally bad intentions, message deleted. Mark Holmes is a fraud. Well, I guess with a name like Bad Intentions, I guess that's what you're why you're here, because you got bad intention. So, welcome, Frank. How are you doing tonight? What's wrong? I mean, seriously, what's wrong, man? What is wrong? I'm here talking about the Dallas Cowboys. How is that fraudulent? How's that fraudulent? I'm giving my opinions on my channel. I'm not forcing any single person here to be here. Dirty Sanchez decides this is how I want to spend my time. Jesse, who's a Giant fan, decides this is how I want to spend my time. John decides this is how he wants to spend time. And apparently, Bad Intentions, this is how you choose to spend your time. Everybody is free to do that. Oh, it doesn't matter. You can block Bad Intentions. He's going to come back as somebody else because this is a person who has no life whatsoever. He's living vicariously by hating on me. And it's kind of funny that some will make a channel and are afraid to put their face on it, afraid to let anybody know who they are, and only lives to hate. It's actually very sad. I honestly feel sorry for you, and I don't know what's happened in your life that is so bad that you feel the need to hate other people or try to hurt other people behind a keyboard. So I'm not going to, you do you, bro. And maybe that's what makes you happy, that your life is that pathetic. Anyway, it's Kevin 7 came back and again, it'll be another video. Mark Holmes is a scammer. He's a fraud. He's, stealing money. He's let's see, what else? Let's see. I don't know. Oh, he's just a grease cook and a butler for Tracy and a bum. Oh, but then next week I'm a millionaire. I'm a multi-millionaire slumlord. Okay. I never understood hating somebody for no reason. Seriously. I mean, maybe what it was is maybe we went to high school together and the girl he liked, maybe she liked me and he's just holding it against him. I don't know. Don't waste my time. You're right, John. So back to the possibility that the Cowboys might be making some moves. What I think may have happened is the Cowboys have discovered some new toys. And when you start all of a sudden doing some things and it's fun, you start trying to do that. You just described Philly 500. Jalen Hurts led the league in TDs with 20-plus yards with 7 last year. What did your quarterback do? Ooh. Bears, what do you think? I think we should get the win against the Bears, but it's the NFL. Anybody can beat you. Here's what I think. I think the Cowboys actually are getting on board with actually doing some good things. That the trade with Micah, they're sitting there looking, they're saying, okay, we say, hold on. We're not writing that $47 million check for Micah. And we got next year's draft, we got 2 picks in the first round. The next year, we got 2 picks in the first round. Hey, we got some cash. And let me pull up something here, too, because here's where I think all of a sudden things are changing is this, when I finally saw it yesterday, because I've been looking for it for a while, is, check this out. This is groundbreaking. So here it is right now. This is over the cap, okay? If you look, we got $31 million right now. $31 million. Second most amount of cap space out there. And I know people are going to say, well, yeah, it's because you didn't sign Micah. Well, so Micah Parsons, we get. Micah Parsons is generational. Micah Parsons is the next Lawrence Taylor. Go ahead, shoot me for it. I still believe he's an incredible talent. But had we signed Micah Parsons like we did, we would have been doing the exact same thing that we've been doing for about the last 15 years. And the problem is about to be pick 29. Maybe what you have is Green Bay is peaking early. You never know. But I'll say this much, Brian Sherman, to have 2 picks in, say, the top 30, I'm okay with that. And should I say to have 3 picks in the top 50, maybe? I'm okay with that too. So we'll see where that goes. But here's the thing. Check this out. We got $31 million right now today, okay? We've gotten Osin Digizua locked down. We got Deron Bland locked down, and I was kind of like, I don't know about Deron Bland until we played without him. We got Fergalicious taken care of, okay? And Ferguson is actually playing pretty decent at tight end right now, first 2 games. You've got, of course, CeeDee Lamb's been locked up. Dak is locked up. And you now got Tyler Smith locked up. Now, check this out. And see, this is what we have been saying for years, that the Cowboys need to pay the guys early. Don't wait until you're at the 5th-year option, okay? Because here we have Tyler Smith. See, we had this year's contract, which was only about $6 million. They added about $2 million to his number, and Tyler Smith's cap hit this year is $7.4 million, okay? But what they've done is you have now said, here's the money we're going to pay you now. We're going to pay you the top of the market, $24 million a year as a guard, which is great. But guess what? You're not actually paying for that until 2 years down the road. Because when we look at this, take a look at this. So his cap number, and I know you're going to say, well, Mark, look at that. His cap number is $26 million next year. What the F, man? Hold up. We them boys. There is what the Cowboys always do is they put a trigger in. They had the trigger in Dax, they had the trigger in CDs, and they flipped both of those levers on those contracts to give them cap relief. So as you're looking at this right now, his cap number is $7 million this year, $26 next year. And if you want to do this, you can do this yourself. Go to Over the Cap, and over here on the corner, there's an arrow. You click on the arrow, and it will open it up, and you can get what the number will be, whether it's post-June 1st, pre-June 1st, whether it's a trade, a cut, or restructure. But lo and behold, if we restructure his contract next year, his cap number is only $10 million. So that's another $16 million that you have to play with for next year. This, my friends, is what we've been looking for the Cowboys, and we have been screaming from the heavens and what they could have done actually with Micah. But Micah, I think what the problem with Micah was, you got Jerry Jones, the lead alpha dog, and then you got Micah Parsons, another lead alpha dog. And those two dogs didn't mix. And Jerry was kind of like, I'm going to spread that money elsewhere. And time will tell whether or not it works. Now, if the Cowboys go out here, if they can find a way to get a victory against the Bears, okay, I see you. And then you've got a game against the Green Bay Packers where you don't know how that's going to go. Everybody automatically is saying Green Bay is going to blow through. They're going to destroy us and stuff. But you don't know what you don't know. 2 plays yesterday. 2 plays were the difference of winning and losing. If Tua doesn't throw that interception and they don't hit the kicker, Miami wins. Flat out. Flat out. And you could look at that and say, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop those 4 passes, or if Miles Sanders doesn't fumble that football, Cowboys win that game. And they're 2-0, and you're looking totally different at them. The thing about football is this. It doesn't matter if it's a blowout or a close game. There's typically 5 plays, no more than 5 plays that are the difference between winning and losing. The numbers and the plays are so close to being a winner or loser. Just ask the Giants. Just ask the Giants. If the Giants score and leave no time on the clock, they got to win. And they're looking a whole lot different today than they are there. If Russell Wilson doesn't throw that Hail Mary in the end and it's intercepted, we're looking at a tie. 2 plays. One could have gotten you a win, one could have gotten you a tie. That's the difference between winning and losing. It's literally that close. Big game day for Dak this Sunday. I'm going to say it's a big game day for Matt Eberflus because, when you are now with somebody else, after you've been a jilted lover, you want to look damn sexy and make them jealous for letting you go. You got a Bears team that's wounded as far as their defense. Mark, don't remind. Oh, no, Jess, I got to remind you, man. I got to remind you because that's all we got. That's all we got, man, is that we're better than the Giants by a little bit. Okay? Now, something else I need to talk about here, too, is I'm surprised that I haven't seen Momo. Momo called me. Momo's like, you said you got a microphone you can send me? I'm like, damn, bro. It's going to cost me probably as much to send you the damn mic as it is for you to go out and buy one. But all right, I said, I'll look when I get back home and see what I got. Damn. I'm such a scammer. I'm sorry, that's all I do. I'm a fraud and a scammer. Okay. For the Commanders with the left hand up, you got a little bit of an issue here.
2 things with Jaden Daniels. First up, what do we know about him? The media didn't see him out practicing on Friday, and we heard he was mentally preparing or preparing mentally, as Dan Quinn said, giving me an idea for a new racehorse name should I ever own one, like I guess like your colleague, our colleague Ian. What do you think here about Jaden Daniels, Tom?
Jaden Daniels is not going to start on Sunday. It's going to be Marcus Mariota for the Commanders against the Raiders. Daniels was able to get out there after the media viewing period. He did a little on the field, but you go back to what Dan Quinn said at the start of the week, which was they were going to proceed with caution. They had to see him practice in order to play. Well, he got, again, some limited type of activity today, but clearly not enough. They also made very clear, DQ did, that they weren't going to put Daniels on the field unless he was full go. So all those things together obviously got you to the point where they feel most confident moving forward with Marcus Mariota. So Marcus Mariota's played on enough teams now that we could have any number of revenge games around the league. This is certainly one of them. He was a member of the Raiders at one time. He'll be out there against Las Vegas.
Okay, so there's a question looking back, and now there's a question looking forward. First up, the question looking back. When did this happen in the Thursday nighter game in Green Bay? Do we know when this happened?
It was a play where he got tackled awkwardly from behind. It was in I believe the second or third quarter. He just kind of got wrapped up. He came up limping a little bit. He did have a wrap on it in the locker room after the game. They MRI'd him. It's a knee sprain. So there is a ligament involved here. It's not something that's expected to be long term. I would not anticipate Jaden Daniels goes on injured reserve. He may well be back in week 4. But it makes sense. I mean, we don't have to bring up the comparisons to another young, bright Washington quarterback who had a knee injury and they rolled him out on the field. It made it worse, and his career was never the same again. Obviously, Commanders fans don't need to, relive RG3 all over again. But this is not that injury. This is not as significant. This is very much a conscious decision that, yes, if this were a playoff game, maybe the decision-making is different. But it's week 3. There's a long way to go for a team with high expectations. So hold Jaden Daniels back this week. He'd probably put himself on the field if it were solely up to him, but hold him back right now, get him fully healthy, and I would anticipate in the coming weeks here he'll be ready to roll.
Well, I mean, the next 2 games for Washington are against 2 teams that in the first couple weeks of the season have shown some pass rush, to say the least, at Atlanta, at the Chargers, Tom. So you think it's possible he's back for week 4 at Atlanta?
Well, the Raiders also have Max Crosby, who can make your life miserable regardless of how mobile you are.
Right.
Back in there in the pocket. But, it certainly seems like this is a day-to-day type of a situation. Okay. They gave him the week. He was able to get out there a little bit today, not enough to convince them. So Mario gets to go on Sunday.
Okay, before we continue on with any other injuries of note to keep an eye on in week 3, Tom Pelissero here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that.
You're welcome, Rich. Out. Okay. So here's the thing, okay? And this is what you always hear is, oh, well, a player's back, okay? And we think that when a player comes back, they're 100%. You remember when Zeke Elliott hyperextended his knee, or the year before when he had the PCL injury, and it's like, oh, he only missed a game. He missed 1 game. It's like, okay, well, he's back. Yeah, he was back, but it wasn't like before he got injured. Before he got injured, he was averaging like 4.3 yards a carry. After he's injured and comes back, he's got 3.3. So you lost some of that speed, that quickness, and that strength. And so, yeah, he looks like a cricket. He's got some bird legs. He's got Sam Bradford-style legs, which are like this. They skinny, really skinny. So the thing is he'll come back probably next week, but he's not going to be 100%. And it's real easy once you get nicked up to agitate and get that injury going. Now, listen, I know what's going to happen. People are going to say, Mark Holmes is out here cheering for people to get hurt and all that. Okay, I'm not Walker Wade out here saying that he's going to break his freaking neck or anything like that. I'm saying that this is part of the problem you have in football. A guy gets hurt. Logan Motorsports, winner, chicken dinner. The guy gets hurt, it affects your team. And that team without Jalen Daniels running is not the same. And that could be the telltale problem for the Commanders is he's not going to be able to run the same way he did. And some of those hits he was taking in that game last week, I'm like, before he got hurt, I'm like, Momo, your guy can't keep getting hit like that. He can't. And that's where I'm kind of like, I'd rather Dak Prescott be that pocket quarterback and hit those targets that we're paying all that money for and stay upright, okay? Glad we got Javonte Williams who can put his head down and he can pick up 4.6 yards a carry, okay? I'm happy that we got those guys doing it. Protect the quarterback. Without that guy, you're done. Jay Smooth, my quarterback's better. Oh my God, no, not the my quarterback's better. Oh God, that literally, I literally just can't do that one. That he did, Glimmerman. Yes, he did, and he got up and boom, and right in people's faces. But you don't want to be. Did you see where Jalen Daniels is running and he got his legs taken out from under him and he's flipping up in the air? You don't want to see those. You don't want to see those. And Dak did take some shots, but he also took, I believe, 3 unnecessary roughness penalties that gave us first downs and big plays. So, yeah. Lead commander, trust me, I know my quarterback gets hurt, but you want to try and keep him out of harm's way as much as possible. And you can see your second-year guy in the second game of the season has gotten nicked up. Momo asked me to hide in the weeds, and Allie B&B hit to him. Okay. All right, well, I can't believe I haven't seen Momo tonight. Logan Motorsports, you're a damn world champion, man. What you talking about? Lead commander, I'm sorry, dude. Listen, I'm not trying to throw shade on you or anything like that. You got a good team. I'm just saying you got to be selective when you make those guys run. So now, let me go back full circle here as we're rounding the corner here. Here's where, if the Cowboys are serious about making trades and having the capital and having the cash, you got $30 million right now. You can do anything you want to do. You've got draft picks. I'm not going to say, I mean, unless it's like, knock down, drag out, great trade. I mean, we got George Pickens for a 3rd-round pick. What you getting for a number 1? What you getting? Tell me, what are you getting for a number 1 right now? Right now, you got Cincinnati, although they did win this past week without Joe Burrow. That's probably not going to be a team that's going to be a playoff team. You got Miami, who's already kind of fire sailed and got rid of a few players who, and I'm not saying get Tariq Hill, not saying that at all. But right now, Miami is on the precipice of literally starting all over. There might be some players there you might want. You're going to have some teams right now that realize our season is over in the next 2-3 weeks. And that's when you can start making some calls to try and see, hey, your season's over. You got a player whose contract's going to be expiring at the end of this year. Maybe we can get something going here. And when you think about somebody like, and I'm not saying that the Cowboys would get Trey Henderson because, basically it'd be a 1-year rental, although you saw what the Rams did with Von Miller. They gave up a 3rd-round pick to get Von Miller for half a season, and they rode him to a Super Bowl. You got Trey Henderson right there. It was successful, but he's still going to be gone at best the end of December, though, Thomas. I don't think that they're going to be in playoff contention right then. But if you look at it from Cincinnati's standpoint, and if you know that we ain't got any chance at making the playoffs, and we know that Henderson's going to be gone at the end of the year, would you look at it and say, okay, we'll take a 3rd-round pick to get him off our books, and at least we got something for next year. Maybe it's a 2nd. I don't know. I'm just saying that that's the way you got to look at it, and the Cowboys are in a position where they can be buyers because a lot of teams are broke ass. Riley, what's up, Riley? How are you doing today? Riley, it's on its way. I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. Jess, when did you get your package? Because Riley's stuff, although hers has got a lot further way to go than yours did. When did you get your stuff? Did you get it yesterday or did you get it today, Jess? You're a fan. You're talking a lot about muscle relaxers and Sunday because of spasms of shock. What? I take Miami's running back. There you go. Sophomore slump for JD 55. Turf toe is now a 3-month thing. I remember back in the day, they rubbed dirt on. Glimmerman, well, he had a grade 3, and it basically, they had to operate on it. His was really messed up. You got yours yesterday, so I want to say it went out Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. Okay, so yours you got on Thursday. Riley, maybe by Monday you get your package. And so, Jess, Jess, I got to know, Jess, that piece of glitter, okay, that was from the last time your team was great. What did you do with that? What did you do with it? Are you holding it? Did you put it in like a special bottle and you just have it sitting there so you can dream about it? I'm just curious what you did. I'll take Devontae. Okay, Devon. Okay, flip. So we'll see the Cowboys do something here. I hope that we can get back on track as far as our defense goes. I feel good. You'd had 2 days to everything. Okay, so, well, he got his yesterday. So maybe Monday. Jess, why would Eagles fans be shocked from a team that they beat twice last year? They didn't do anything personnel-wise to stop Saquon. What are you saying? It's hanging on my wall next to my shirt. Oh, man, that's nice. Okay. So when you see that, do you think of Mark Holmes or do you think about the greatness of the Giants? Is it a bittersweet thing because it's like I had to get this from a Cowboy fan for my Giants' greatness? Does that hurt any? I'm asking for a friend. I'm just curious. Jesse, I hope Eagles put BTA to the Giants. Well, anyway, that's all I got for the night. The Cowboys are open for business. Jerry and Stephen Jones are on the same page talking about bringing in more personnel. Dak Prescott, all of a sudden, is getting some love like he's actually an NFL quarterback. And Cowboy players are being arrested for stupid shit. Did I cover it all? Oh, and then there's Micah Parsons. Does it feel like I'm asking Cowboy fans, is it beginning to feel like the Micah Parsons talk is waning a little bit? Now, they're talking about him, and that him and Myles Garrett feel like they're generational players, the best two, and this, that, and the other. But it seems like it's dying out of the Cowboys made a big mistake. And I'm still kind of pissed off that we're not getting the Micah Parsons podcast, aren't y'all? You had to have those when you were here, but you don't in Green Bay, where there is nothing to do. Nothing to do. And it's probably already getting chilly up in there. Hey, Mark, you're not playing the Washington Song tonight? Because I haven't seen Momo. I think Momo is afraid to pop his head in here because he knows I've got it ready, on speed dial. Lead Commander, I love Mr. Holmes' channel, but just wait. Be patient. Okay. Well, we love you too, Lead Commander. The more the Cowboys win, the less talk about Micah. Yeah, who is Micah Parsons? John, he hasn't done one since last year when he was a Cowboy. Probably don't have no Wi-Fi in Green Bay. That might be true, too. Keep winning, Cowboys. F Micah. I'll be watching Sunday. Enjoy your hot L, Bagels fans. I need one. Jesse, I need to see the Eagles lose because I'm tired of going on the Dan Saleo show and Philly 500. We're 2-0. We're 2-0. It's like, yeah, but you got some problems there. No, we don't. We got it fixed. We're great. We're good everywhere. We're the best team in football. It's like, okay. It's like your quarterback's only thrown 250 yards. But what is he? Is he winning? Is he winning? It's like, okay. Our swagger is different without Micah. We got more unity. I will say I think you're right on that one. We also got a whole lot more defensive scoring on the defense without Micah. last week. I just hope, look, if we end up making all the quarterbacks look like Russell Wilson next week, we'll be hearing Micah Parsons' name a lot. And that's just the way it is. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I got to get back on the road again in the morning. Get back to the man cave so we can be ready for the games on Sunday. We got the Eagles and Rams at 1 o'clock. And then we got our Cowboys, I believe, at 4 o'clock. I don't know what the Sunday night game is, but we'll be there. So forgive me for yawning. But tomorrow, don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern, we have our members call in. So if you are like Holly Pierce or Jesse or Thomas Garrett, you can call in and be part of the show. We know Leo will be there. We think Momo will be there, but I don't know. Momo, he's kind of in hiding right now. It might be because Jaden Daniels is hurt. All right, you good people. As always, I appreciate you. Peace out.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.